Chris Fedor, Cleveland.com. What's up, Koby?
Hey, Chris.
Hey, can you describe the emotions of now knowing that you have the 3rd overall pick in this draft?
Yeah, it was an incredible sequence of events. So I show up to my room in Chicago, and there's this massive, not sort of a duffel, but like this cask of equipment. And I open up the equipment, and there's an iPad, 3 tripods, 2 iPhones, and a light. And I had to set this up for a virtual draft or a lottery. And a lot of that stuff's beyond me. I was proud that I could set that up the way I did. And so I'm in my room, and I'm the lights blasting at me. I'm listening to the live feed on my ear pod, and I'm trying to keep my emotions to myself, because you're on screen and you're on mic'd up, and your heart's pounding. But listen, I mean, we're fortunate. It's the lottery balls, as you know, go either way, and we're in a really, really good position, I feel.
What's it mean to the franchise, though, Koby, knowing the stakes?
I think it's a tremendous opportunity. I think it really positions us well. Look, I think when we started this a few years back, we talked about building through the draft and creating sustainable success. There's some real game changers at the top of this draft, but also it puts us in a position to really capitalize on different opportunities throughout the landscape of the NBA with this position. So, we're fortunate to be able to have this pick, add another talented young man to this roster. But when you look at sort of our young core that I talk to you guys about a lot, we're in good shape from a talent perspective, and we're going to have another large injection of talent coming soon.
Kelsey
Russo, The Athletic. Hi, Koby.
Hey, Kelsey.
Kind of going back to something you touched on in your end of season press conference, you talked about adding size and athleticism. You sort of touched on a little bit here, but now knowing that you have this 3rd pick, how does that sort of help you in this process as you guys are continuing to evaluate guys, and knowing those things are sort of at the top of your mind as well, but knowing that you now have this pick where it is at?
It means everything. Listen, a lot of the calls that you make around the league that we do all the time when we canvass the league, there are a lot of hypotheticals, and now it's concrete. We know what pick we have, and we know what calls we'll probably get on it, and we'll figure out what we can potentially do with it. But at the top of this draft, there's size, there's athleticism, there's talent, and so we're really happy.
Thanks.
Marla
Ridenour, Akron Beacon Journal. Yeah, Koby, did you really have Nick Gilbert's ties with you?
Yeah, I'll show you. So this is the championship court, and this is what the original bow ties that he won with. And I was doing my best to channel my inner Nick Gilbert tonight. The Gilberts, and big shout out to Jennifer and Dan Gilbert for their support. They're actually overseas now on a family vacation. They were tuned in, and they were sending incredible vibes and positivity from overseas. And this showed up in my hotel room this morning. And so I couldn't figure out which one to wear. So I just said, let's put them right by my side. And it worked out. So thank you, Nick.
So Nick is with them on this trip?
Absolutely. Actually, if you want to check out his Instagram, he'll show you where he is. I don't want to put it out there, but.
And just, you've talked a little bit about what you could do with this pick. So do you expect that you're gonna, this is gonna be you're gonna be swamped with calls? Or I just was curious if you could elaborate a little more on that.
Like we're gonna take the night, obviously decompress, get our thoughts in order, and the landscape currently in the league. I know this pick is tremendously valuable. And so, if that's the direction that we want to go with that ammunition, we can certainly get into some conversations. But we really do like this draft.
Thank you.
Chris Manning.
Chris Manning from Dime. I'm just curious, compared to last year's draft, obviously, which was so much more impacted by the pandemic, but how is in your experience with it so far, how is this draft process comparing in terms of how it's different and the same as the last draft process?
The challenges of this year's draft is, we didn't get to see these guys live. The last draft class, we almost had 80% of the season completed. Why this was a hard year for this rookie class was because they didn't have summer league and they didn't have, time to really work out. And so, Isaac had monumental challenges unfaced by any rookies or this rookie class. And the fact that he, was nominated to the second team, we're thrilled about. The difference in challenges for this year was we just couldn't see a lot of these guys live. Fortunately for us, and our scouting staff does an incredible job. Mike Ganzi and Brandon Weems, who head up our scouting department, we were able to see the top 5 guys live, whether that be down in the G League Showcase or doing some travel across the country, and seeing guys late in the season when things started to open up a little bit. And so we were able to really lock in. We go really deep in terms of the intel we collect, and we have a really thorough process. And so there are challenges for sure, but we feel like we know these guys pretty well, and we'll have a chance to draft someone really good.
And it was just also reported that Kevin is going to play for Team USA at the Olympics. I'm just curious if you had any comments on Kevin going to play for Team USA.
Yeah, so we're thrilled. We're thrilled about Kevin participating in the Olympics. First of all, it's an honor. My background, I come from Team USA as an intern, and the experience you get with USA basketball is unlike anything else I can describe, especially when you win gold. He has a chance to add another gold medal to his resume, Olympic gold medal. But I think more personally for us as a franchise and for him, he gets to play 5-on-5 against the best players in the world every day, and then go out and play meaningful games. And that's going to be great for him. He knows he needs to have a big off season, and this is the perfect place for him to do that. Chris, the other thing I will say is we got a call from USA Basketball today as well. We've had a string of really good news, which is great. And they're going to invite Darius Garland to be on the select team. And that's that's a tremendous honor for us as well. And so Darius getting to go against that caliber of player every day in practice at his age is tremendous. And so we're excited. And I think people, are taking note nationally of how good Darius has become in his talent level, and him to get that, for us to get that call about Darius today, we're thrilled. So to have 2 guys in the system working out in Vegas is going to be great. And I hope you guys can go out there and watch some practices.
Thanks, Koby.
Spencer.
Spencer Davies, basketballnews.com. Hey, Koby.
Hello. Hey, Spence. How you doing?
Good, man. Good. I know it's only been an hour, but have you heard from any players after the results and stuff?
It was great. Larry Nance Jr. texted me before. Good luck, watching afterwards right away. Larry's incredible. He's a bigger fan than I am of the Cavaliers and the franchise. And so he's excited. The great thing about having Larry around is, he'll be able to take some of the prospects out to dinner or just, have that one-on-one time with the player that's in town always. And, him welcoming guys to town is huge for us. Whatever your thoughts about Cleveland, if you've never been, could be what they are. But as soon as you get to town, you get to our facility and you meet the people in the building and you meet Larry Nance Jr., and that's the first person you meet, you feel good about the franchise right off the bat before you do any sort of sightseeing or touring downtown or seeing our facilities or seeing Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. If he's the first guy you see, you immediately feel great. And I think that's a huge asset that we have. But he was the first one to hit me up.
As far as the process of setting up workouts and stuff goes, how does that happen over the next course of a few weeks?
Well, having the 3rd pick really helps. because we'll have more opportunity to talk to the top tier. But our assistant general manager, Mike Gansey, will start that process. He might be doing it tonight. As soon as I get off this call, I'm going to talk to him and see what we got going.
All right. Sorry for holding you up.
No, it's all good.
Back to Chris. Theodore.
Koby, from a general standpoint, you talked at the end of the season press conference about wanting to supplement the young guys with veteran guys. Just how comfortable are you in adding another young player to the group that you already have?
I think, and it's a great question. I think this is always part of the plan. We knew, and we got out of the gate pretty hot early, and I think we had sort of a close to a 500 record at one point this season, and we were excited. But we never put playoff emphasis on this season. We sort of knew like this was the season of evaluation, still developing talent. Unfortunately, the health really hurt us, and like I said, I think there was some more wins in there, but the health really did, drop off what we could do from a night-to-night basis. So, we always thought, and I didn't think it would be the third pick, but we always knew we were going to add another, young talented player in this draft this year, and then go from there. What we always try to do is create a pathway for success for whoever we draft. It won't be any different with this young man either. The difference is these players at this high level, they're really talented and they can play right away. So we might have to do some internal adjustment to how we gauge what we want to do right out of the gate. But we still want to supplement that forward we talked about. The difference is that there could be a game changer at where we're picking.
You've talked a lot about the strength of this draft, and people around the NBA have talked about it for a little while now. Just what is it, if you could summarize, what is it that makes this draft so unique, so different than maybe some of the other ones of recent years?
Yeah, I just think that there's potential all-stars, and you can't listen. It's hard to project anything. You can't say with 100% certainty someone's going to be an all-star. But when you go through drafts, the first thing you're looking for is that superstar, that franchise level player that changes your franchise. And then you're looking for an all-star. Is there an all-star where we're picking? And then if there's not, is there a starter, which is still really good, a high-level starter. And as you go back and further back in the draft, can you get a rotational player? And so you sort of, as you go back and further back in the draft, you're evaluating how much of an impact the guy can make. And I think to your question, why people are so excited about this draft, even beyond the top 5, there could be potential all-stars. And I think that's why people are gauging it that way.
This was your first time where you've repped the organization at the draft lottery. Why did you choose yourself?
I was probably 12th on the on the depth chart. But no, I look, important year, and it was a lot of pressure, but I wanted to step up and do it.